large selection of desktop and laptop computers.
Alright, we're on our way back to Fleur de Lys. This is the Baie Verte section of the highway. As you can see, it's pretty good. All the altars are cut back, good guardrails. And then we'll get up here a little ways. We'll hit the dump, which is, we can say, the cutoff. And that's all you'll see. From there to Fleur de Lys is roughest roads in Newfoundland. Here we go. Just listen to the noise, how comfy that was. And look at this. All the altars on the side of the road. Watch this up right here, look. You gotta hit that all the time. Obviously you swerve to the other side of the road so you don't ruin your car, but you hit someone coming, that's it. Both cars are demolished.
We offer superior services and provide leading-edge hearing aids. Ask us about the Bell-Tone Mark, which is the smallest receiver in the ear hearing aid available today. To experience the Bell-Tone difference and to avoid long wait times to see an audiologist, please call 489-8500 in Grand Falls, Windsor, 639-8501 in Corner Brook, or toll free 1-866-489-8500. Are you looking for insurance to cover a long-term mortgage or loan? Wait no longer. Insurance is available for any loan or mortgage of 5 years or more.
And this road was good compared to just last year, 2 years ago. So, although it's not the best, we're not doing enough to get it changed. So, you got to start complaining about it. So this here is the mine site where I was talking about before, and you get the, you see how close we are to the side of the pit here. You get a good look at it there. There you go, look, signs, warning, there's a fence. That fence now is going to stop us from going down 200 or 300 feet or meters.
Body works as good as new in no time. You're listening to the VOCM CFCB, Old Newfoundland and Labrador Radio Network. Good afternoon, Kim. You're on Back Talk.
Hi, Bill. How are you?
Fine, Kim, and yourself?
Oh, not too bad.
That's good. Go right ahead.
You and Mark were taking my name in vain there earlier when you were discussing the...
Mark, did Mark mention your name?
Yes, Mark mentioned my name.
Yeah, okay. I didn't mention your name. I didn't even know he was referring to you. But anyway, is there something wrong with what he said?
No, there's nothing wrong.
Oh, okay. I get the impression when you said taking your name in vain that you had a complaint, but you're not complaining.
I'm not complaining.
Okay, go ahead, Kim.
Using my name. I was the one who was in the hospital and came out and started complaining about the fact that there were no testable washrooms.
Yeah, and that's what the point he was making, right? That you raised the issue to begin with.
That's right.
Okay, great, Kim. I'm glad you called. Go right ahead.
One of the other many problems that we got with the healthcare system.
Comment on what I'm guessing it's Tom Badcock that you were talking to there a minute ago.
Yes, that's right.
And he was saying, what are they going to do? You leave these beds free in case someone in a wheelchair comes in.
So this little section was paved probably about 3 years ago. And that's it. That's all we get. Ridiculous. You get a paving crew to come all the ways out here to do a job, and he does a kilometer. I mean, where does all the money get wasted, I wonder? Don't these people understand anything about construction, government? Just because they sit behind a desk punching numbers that they figure they know is it?
They put someone on one floor that belongs on another floor. And, these things are done all the time. And certainly, we wouldn't leave the bed vacant because, there's no woman in a wheelchair that needs it.
So your point, make sure I
road there.
They could be used by somebody else.
Obviously, yes.
Big ditch, no
And not being used.
guardrails.
The other points I wanted to make wanted to respond to Vicki Kaminsky had to say, first of all, she was
This is where I went off the road one time. No sand trucks, foot of snow on the slush on the roads, weren't cleared.
People using wheelchairs. And I want to say,
Halters, look at them all. Moose jumps out there anytime, bang. And the first one that does, when I'm driving, the government will have a case against them, sir, neglecting their duties as a government to keep our roads safe. And just their excuse, oh, drive slower? No, improve the roads, improve guardrails, improve the clearing of altars being cut. We're going to stop passing the buck.
And takes away what little independence a patient may have.
Look at that,
Kim, what's your
2-inch gap.
suggestion for a solution to the problem that you experienced personally when you were in hospital?
Well, Mr. Kaminsky said that it would cost $25,000 a room.
Just listen to the tires.
To make the room wheelchair accessible.
Do you think that's good on your shocks?
88 acute care units at the health sciences. And it only costs $200,000 to make one private room accessible on each unit. And that's to say clear. Obviously, it'd be more difficult because we only have 75 rooms over there. But it could be accomplished by widening doors and putting.
Now that could have been a moose if anyone wasn't paying attention. At night.
Thing would be the doors, and they could make them either pocket doors that the walls could accommodate it, or have doors that swung both ways by switching a lever. I mean, there's answers out there if you're willing to find.
There's a bump here. It was back when I was in high school, which was 20 odd years ago, and they only patched that up probably about 6 years ago. You know, ridiculous. We used to be in the back of the bus, and that we used to hit the ceiling when we went over that bump. We all thought it was hilarious. But as an adult, knowing what could happen to a child that got flung up in the air and came down, how that could hurt their back. Actually, maybe that's what happened to my back. Think about it now. I have to look into that a bit more.
10 years or so, you know, it's high times in progress.
I've never heard of his work.
Okay. Well, thank you, Kim. Nice talking to you.
Thank you very much, Bill.
All the best. Bye-bye.
Bye-bye.
So here starts a kilometer section of road. Smooth. No noise on the tires. Saves on wear and tear on vehicles.
I can't afford another cab, and it would be a lot easier if so stupid. I should have known if he'd never gotten behind the wheel after drinking to begin with. I thought it was okay, but I was just over the limit.
You know, why they couldn't do the whole highway? We got 32 kilometers. Not even that complete. We'll say 30 kilometers. And they've been out here half a dozen times. And this is all they got done, really. The alders are cut back a bit. This is good.
Are you afraid of getting your hearing aid wet? Come into Exploits Hearing Aid Center. They have the Starkey new S-Series, the world's only 100% water-resistant hearing aid, and the only hearing aid with T2 technology.
There you go, that's the end of that section. Now this is another section that was probably done 4 years ago.
For demonstration, and listen for yourself the same day. 709-489-8900 or toll free 1-800-563-8900.
And that section ends here. And then this section was done 28 years ago. And chunks of asphalt. When you drive over that side, is that bad? And that used to driving on that side of the road. Dips, hollows. So hopefully you'll get a better understanding of what our roads are like, because I'm not sure who the member of transportation is. Our local member was the member of transportation. Our member was the member of tourism, and neither one of them did a tap to improve the situation that we got here. So we don't depend on government to do it for us. So it's up to us now, as a people, to stick together. We're going to get this petition. I'm going to post this on the internet, and we're going to make a difference. And the difference is for the people, people for people, not government for people. Government don't work for people. Government works for themselves. Each party works for their own party. They don't work in cooperation. They don't work in an agreement. The government has got you brainwashed with regards to thinking, oh, we got to have a government that has parties so that one can fight the other. Well, that's not how society should work. Society should be a cooperation of people, of individuals, of groups, working together to come to a common goal. And our common goal should be to provide to its people free food, free fuel, and free food, so that people can use their resources, their own financial resources, to do the things that they wish to do. Be it financial freedom, be it travel, be it to help others, to join charities, to do foundation work, to improve their communities. I mean, as individuals, we probably go and we cut down most of these altars because they're so thick we can burn for firewood. We get a fine for doing such. We get a fine for going in and cutting firewood to heat our homes. We get a fine for going into the woods and cutting logs to build our homes, to improve our lifestyles. We're always being squat by the powers to be. No matter who they are, they're all the same, because they all work under the same, same ideals, which are not for the people. The ideals are for themselves. Each politician that you see go into power, look at the wealth that they build for themselves. They be in there, then they change, they get out, then they step into these high authority positions with other companies, because they spent a few years in government and did nothing for nobody? No, because they went and kept people under control, and they get rewarded for their successes in doing that. So today is November 30th. I hope to have this video up within a couple of days. We actually got no power down our way today. I don't know why. I guess they're doing maintenance. It'd be alright if they put down an internet high speed. It'd be alright if they put down cell phone service. I mean, we can't even get FM radio down here. I mean, it's as people in this nation of ours, we got to demand that if a company was to provide service, they had to provide service to all, not only to the populace that is going to give them the most reward for their time, for their equipment, yet when we all pay the same taxes. Newfoundland is divided up into 42 or 47 zones. Each zone carries about 10,000 people for voting purposes. Each one of us pay taxes, yet majority of the financing goes towards 3 or 4, maybe half a dozen districts. So we got to come up with a new way to change that, and I have a plan that will come in another video. So bang, there you go. a new patch of highway right here, and then it stops again.
Increasing cloudy to periods of rain beginning late this evening, starting off as wet snow over Green Bay White Bay, 2 to 4 millimeters. Fog patches developing this evening as well.
You see, this section is not as bad as the previous ones, but it's still not the best.
Fog patches dissipating in the afternoon. Winds becoming moderate northwesterly in the afternoon. Temperature falling to 2 to
Big potholes covered over. They'll come up again in spring. They don't know how to fill a pothole. They don't blow out the excess the material that's in the hole. They don't make it. They don't put down any patchwork. They don't compress it. They run over it actually with a pickup truck now to flatten it out. Believe that? But this is the end of Fleur de Lys Road. We're on now on paved road. I'll just go bring you down, give you a little tour of what we're about for tourism. You know, there is things that a lot of people will do to improve their yards, as you can see, and then down here we got a crab plant, seal plant. There was a seal plant there that went over to our crab plant that's now closed down, but it's being utilized for a seal plant.
You take really good care of me. Take care of yourself and have a yearly pap test. For information on cervical cancer, call 1-888-643-8719. Mom, you take really good care of me. Take care of yourself and have a yearly pap test.
There's our fire hall, community hall, town hall, which is going to be torn down because it's being turned down, I guess, by agencies with regards to the wiring, etc. Our little harbor.
You're listening to the VOCM CFCB, All Newfoundland and Labrador Radio Network. Back Talk is brought to you by Chess Crosby Barristers. Justice for
Little marina that we got.
Call 579-4000.
Now we're back on VOCM Back Talk, and I even managed not to walk all over that wonderful ad there that ends up the news. Now let us go. I'm Bill Rowe, your host. Pat Murphy produces the show. We had a great first hour, and we're going to kick off this second hour.
This is where we call Down Below.
Line number
Going
5.
through the rock
Joan,
cut.
Joan, you're on the air.
Yes, how are you, Mr. Rowe?
I'm fine, Joan, and yourself?
I'm fine, thank you.
That's good.
And my topic is a bit different on what you got on today.
Well, there's no topics on Back Talk. Anything goes, Joan.
So this is what we call Down Below. A few homes, no water down here. It's all just wells.
No soldiers?
Yes,
No
indeed.
fire hydrants, no nothing.
I feel
Oldest stage probably
our soldiers, they are
in
our family.
on our peninsula.
And how the NDP and the Liberals is trying to bring up their poles on the shoulders of our
Sylvie
soldiers.
Stage down that
Our
way.
soldiers. It's not right.
How are they doing that, Joan, in your view?
Well, they're hoping up a
Shelley's Island down here.
From 2006 and up to 2007.
Ocean View Trail that goes out to the point of the harbor that way.
Passed over to the government, you know, in Kandahar.
Yeah.
And they said they were abused.
Yeah.
Doing wharf,
Well, that's
work on the
not
wharf
all
up
Canadian
there,
soldiers.
extending it
They
because of
done
all the
their
fishermen that
part.
come in here,
Joan,
offloading.
you think,
But yet all the
this
fish
is,
goes out the harbor.
The allegations made by the Liberals
Because
and the
we
NDP,
don't
as I
speak up
understand
to
them,
keep
are
our
being
resources
against
here.
the
That's something else that will be
bigwigs
done.
and the
Corrected.
policymakers, the ministers, and perhaps the generals and so
This
on.
is
who
the
issue
Dorset
orders
Eskimo
rather than the
Interpretation
soldiers. But
Center
you think it reflects
that we used to have a lot of tourists come
It
into.
reflects badly on our rank and file.
People are going to be tearing down their old homes, improving new homes, trying to do up the community. There's people here that wants to build bread and breakfasts. There's people here that wants to build cafes. I would personally like to build a restaurant, but people are not going to come down here to it. So we need to do something about it.
Whatever.
Yeah, the Afghani government.
Yeah, and he puts them into the prison. Well, myself, I agree with every one of them. He passes in. It's a wealth.
So this is our little community of Fleur de Lys.
Wealth.
Yeah.
See, one of the
because
problems.
I've seen them on television welting the women, and they crying and crying and crying.
Yeah. Well,
And then I saw another woman they had down her knees. They was welting her. And then she was saying, you know, crying out for help. Then he took the gun and shot him. Now, what mercy should we have on them?
Well, Joan, you're raising some big issues here, and very important issues, and you're right when you say I don't agree with prisoners who are passed over to the Afghani authorities being abused or struck with sticks or whipped or tortured and so on. I don't agree with that. As a matter of fact, one of the reasons why we are over there, Joan, is trying to impose some civilization on that poor benighted land, right? Whether it comes to...
And just imagine they're welting the women, beating them, and then throwing acid in children's face. You tell me that our government is over there doing their best, and the liberals and the NDP is trying to bring up their polls.
Okay, obviously we're going to have to agree to disagree on this awful subject, but I've got to say to you, I've got to make this point.
well, that's about it. Here's our little general store.
Of a child
You see
or
it,
a
the
woman,
sun.
that doesn't represent the entire population.
And our little tavern, pub, Skipper Shay's Lounge. And then we turn off into one of these dirt roads that we got as a side road.
Has happened recently in Western Canada.
When I first came back here as a child, it was like going on the moon with all the craters.
I would suggest, Joan,
Since then, I guess we got a bit of feel.
because it doesn't apply. But I will say this: that
But there's still lots of work.
surely you don't agree with our.
Well, we'll talk to you later.
involvement in
Home sweet home.